Okay, good evening, everybody. The goal for tonight is to get you acquainted with ePortfolio. Okay, it's to give you a background on why we need to use it. It's to give you a roadmap for getting into it and getting around ePortfolio, and it's to get you to get ePortfolio, get the most out of it you can, and have it do for you just as much as you're doing for it. So tonight's objective is to get through it and to do it in a concise manner. So you guys know what you're going to do. You know how to spend a lot of time watching. Okay, so objective is given the browser that you guys will be using right now. And you'll be following along with Ashley here. You'll be able to locate and use ePortfolio. And why we're using this is to pass organizational requirements for our department. And not only that, it's another level of professionalism that you guys will be enacting in a few short years anyway, so you might as well dip a toe into it right now. Yep. And
now he's a boy.
yeah, so why is this useful? Yeah, it's another level of professionalism, and it keeps you organized. So you're able to access documents, and people are able to see the documents that you put on there easily. It's by far the best system to use for that. Instead of carrying around all the papers, instead of pulling up files on a flash drive, everything's right here in a platform that's easy to use and easily accessible.
And it's made to be a showcase of you and what you've done and accomplished while you're here at Michigan State. And so this is something that you can use, especially with future employers, to showcase what you've done, how you've got through the program, and it's proof to the College of Education that you are in track and met the credentials to become a teacher.
So before we delve too much more into the roadmap, is there anybody out there who has used a system before like this? Maybe has some experience with organizational like that? Maybe perhaps any sort of system like this?
No.
So we don't have a whole lot of experience with this.
Okay.
Okay, so we've identified a problem then, that you guys aren't used to a system like this, okay? So we want to get you acquainted with something that's kind of new like this, but not too hard, kind of like I said before, dipping a toe in. So, roadmap for today, you're going to be able to upload a document. We're going to create a collection on ePortfolio, prepare a presentation, create and link an objective to different documents and artifacts that we're going to upload, and then finally design a reflection, maybe on certain artifacts that you have or collections to give a bit of a narrative to what you're uploading. Okay, so this is where Ashley's going to take over. She's going to actually guide you guys through this a little bit. Kind of do it on the fly here. We're going to walk around with you as Ashley's going through these things, so it'll be interactive. You guys will be doing this with her, and we'll be making sure that you're going along the way. So this gives you guys a little practice and application, and at the same time you get knowledge of your progress immediately, so that way we can see what you guys are doing if you're progressing, with Ashley.
Okay, so this is the D2L website. I'm sure most of you guys have a class on D2L, maybe in the past, or you will probably in the future as Angel's death comes upon us. So this is my login page. So I log in, your typical classes are over here. Now you're going to want to go to ePortfolio. And so once you click that ePortfolio button, that's going to open up into the ePortfolio webpage. And so basically this is the central location of anything you do that has a portfolio related anything. So now looking at this, it's important too, I'm going to point out before we get started, if you go up here into the login, you can go down and click on your profile and actually edit that. That's a good thing to do before you even start, because then you can transfer personal information, contact info directly into presentations and other things we're going to go over. So if I click on mine, it'll bring up, okay, so I got a picture, I've got my social networking connected there, interests, movies, quotes, future goals, learning experiences, and you can put as much or as little as you want in there. I mean, we'll come back to that later. So.
And be honest, how many of you guys have had to start off a class with giving maybe a quote that you like, or your favorite movie, or a fun fact about yourself? It's pretty common, right? Mm-hmm. So getting used to just putting that down and having something generic to throw out is also good. There's icebreakers out the wazoo. You're going to have them in different classes. You're going to have them when you start your job. So getting used to these icebreaker kind of things is another example of being comfortable in a professional setting. And as unprofessional as this might seem, this is going to be a useful tool. Get used to putting out information like that.
But now, so that was pretty informal. I'm going to go through a presentation that we can actually modify to be as professional or as informal as you want. So, but first of all, let's focus on how to upload a document. So here in my ePortfolio, we have 4 kind of tabs we can go through. So there's your home page that has pretty much everything that you might have uploaded. You can click on My Items, and this is just a list of your uploads. Explore is where you can actually kind of go through and search and narrow down and filter what you have. And then sharing groups. So one of the really cool features of ePortfolio is you can actually share it with different people. So that's how, like, you know, maybe you can set this up and then share it with an employer or with faculty or the College of Education. So that's kind of a really neat feature. And I guess it's also really important to stress that this ePortfolio is not just for your time here at MSU. It will get transferred to a permanent website that you can use even after you've graduated and after you've interned. So this is a long-term, like, ePortfolio that you guys can modify and add to for years to come. So going back to ePortfolio, there's a couple different ways that you guys can upload documents. So you can go to this right here, this box, and click Add Files. So this is very similar to the format of like Facebook or some of the other social media websites where you can like upload pictures and links. So it's very common, it's an easy platform. So you could just go into Upload.
Why don't you guys try to do that right now? Access a file, a saved document that you would have on your computer right now. And go ahead and try to upload that.
Yeah. So I have uploaded things for all my classes except for my teacher courses. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to pick out a lesson plan that I've put together and I'm going to upload that. So you just kind of sort through, find the file that you want, and once you find that, actually, and you're not limited to just any sort of document. You can upload a PowerPoint, you can upload a video, Word document, you could have a scanned like assessment of some sort.
Link to a web page.
Yeah, you can upload literally any type of document you can think of. So, for example, I'm going to upload a PowerPoint. And then, so once you upload that, you just click Add to ePortfolio. And then this will pop up here. Now, if you click on this little side tab here, you can go into Edit, and you can rename the document. So for my organizational purposes, which I don't think there's really a template of how we want this organized yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but it's just kind of, we upload the stuff and then we're going to work on that as we work with ePortfolio more and more. So for me, you know, I put the name of the course and then, you know, the document name, and then in the description I'm going to say, you know, this was a PowerPoint created and presented on the topic of hunting wolves in Michigan. So you can add a description, and then there's another neat feature that's tags. So this is so you can go back through into that filter option and you can search for things and narrow them down, because eventually, you know, the idea is that you're going to have a lot of documents in this place and it's going to be easy to access them. So by adding tags, that'll make that easier later on. So for me, I'm going to do TE 407. And then you can do a comma, and you can add as many tags as you want. So like teacher education, and AFNRE. And then you just hit add tags, and then you can search by anything that you put in there. So then you want to save, and then you can go back to your ePortfolio homepage, and then what you most recently uploaded will be at the top. If you go into My Items, it'll also appear. And you can also go over here and you can sort by oldest to newest and A to Z. And so that is basically how you upload a link, an artifact. So another way that you can organize these is with a collection. So a collection is kind of a grouping of things that maybe have a similar interest. So for our purposes, I created AFNRE ePortfolio collection. So I can then click on that. I can make a nice little blurb about it. And then everything, I can choose what documents I have uploaded. I can add them to the collection so they're all together. So according to our handbook, you guys need 2 artifacts from each 4 of our, what do you call those? Not departments.
Thematic area.
Yes, of your area. So this is all in the handout. And so you're going to have all your CS/US courses, all your technical ag courses, all your core science, and then your teacher ed courses. And so you need 2 from each of those.
So what you might start off with is having 4 collections, having a collection for each one of those themes. Okay, and then within that, placing those artifacts. And then if you wanted to go and progress on farther from that, then you would start a new collection with other random things, and it would eventually form a theme there as well. So for right now, you should have 4 collections just so you have something to work with.
And then again, the organization, we really don't have that nailed down as far as how the department wants that. So for me, I'm organizing it, with what's logical to me, and then that can easily be changed later. The biggest part, is to upload these documents and get them online. You want to start collecting these things early because it'll make it a lot easier when you get to your senior year and you have all this stuff ready to go. And so if you look at my collection, I have all of my 8 artifacts, and the tags, I actually tag them as the name of the sector that they came from. So like my core science, my teacher education, these would be like my CS/US, and then my technical agriculture classes. And so, for example, some of my documents, I have a video that I made in ESA 200, which is now CS/US 200. I applied for a grant in the grant writing course, which is 413. I've got lab reports from a biology class, final papers and autobiographies I did in teacher education courses. The sky's the limit on what artifacts you upload. And you want them to showcase who you are and what you've accomplished. So that's, I think, a lot of the heart and soul of this. So another thing that you can do is you can create a presentation. So with a presentation, you kind of have a website format. So I created one that linked all my 8 artifacts together. So this is what it comes up in. You can edit the columns, you can edit the content. So for example, if this is a portfolio that I want to show off, I have actually linked my profile information to this so people can get my information. I can actually link directly to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my email, quotes. You can put whatever you want on there. So, and then I actually created a little side tab here that brings up the courses from this sector. You can click and see what I have uploaded for technical agriculture courses, my teacher education. And then again, with all of these, you can put a description. So that's kind of a good way to connect to why they're relevant. And with these, you can also link it to an objective, which is what is basically our department is calling a criteria for what. Another great feature that we have in ePortfolio is that you can organize your artifacts. So for example, I have my Wolf Management PowerPoint, and I'm going to create a new collection. So let me go back. If you look over here on the right side, it'll say build your ePortfolio. You can make a presentation, collection, and then you can also do video recordings, web documents, course results. So eventually I think you could probably get your grades from different courses that you've had on D2L transferred over. And then you can also associate learning objectives, which will be a way that our department can tell whether or not we've met the criteria on the ePortfolio. But for right now, we're going to make a new collection. So we are going to call this the TE TE portfolio.
So again, just to reiterate, again, this is, another step in being professional. So a title like this needs to be concise and professional. It needs to be something that you're okay with other people seeing and being shared. So, not only it shouldn't be a note to yourself, it should be something you're willing to have people view.
Okay. So, and then like with any document or collection or presentation you add to the e-portfolio, you can add a description and tags. So it's easy to find these, easy to access them. So I'm going to save and close that. Now, it's important to remember that these collections, these are what you're going to actually share. You're going to put everything that you need, all of our department criteria into a collection, and then you're going to share that, and that's how you're going to meet the criteria. So now that we have the collection, we don't have any items, so we're going to go and we are going to add an item. So I found the easiest way to do this was to go back to the home page, and then you're going to go to My Items. And then you see how there's a box by all of the documents and everything that you have uploaded. You can select multiples and add them to a collection or to a presentation. It just makes it really simple to just grab what you want, put it in a collection, boom, you're done. So I'm going to put my Wolf Management PowerPoint into the TE portfolio collection that we just made. Now, if you go up here, you can add documents from the My Items page. So this is also a good hub to work on. But you can go into More Actions, and you're going to select Add to a Collection. So once again, this is where you can also add it to a presentation. And this is also where you'll have an option to associate a learning objective. But for right now, we're going to add to a collection. And then you can have as many collections as D12 will let you fit on here. So I'm going to add it to the TE ePortfolio collection. And so you're going to click the box, and then you're going to hit Add. So now, if I go over here to filter by collections, I can look at my collection that we just created. And open, and you'll see that it moved the PowerPoint there. So it's really easy to take things in and out of our collections and to manage them. So now that you have collections and you have artifacts, you can actually make a presentation. So this could be something you showcase maybe during an interview or to a faculty, or maybe you're doing a class presentation. These have a very nice professional format. So just like the collections, you just select New Presentation. We're going to name it, so we're going to do TE ePortfolio Presentation. So, and then from here, you can add a description, you can tag it. You can also choose who can add comments. So a really kind of neat thing about this is that you can add comments, and you can actually type up a reflection on something that you did, and maybe, something philosophical, I don't know. Whatever you want, you can add a reflection, you can make comments, and then if it's shared, other people can make comments. So once you're on your new presentation and you have your title name, you can go into Content and Layout. So this is where we get into the layout and the content that you're actually going to have on your page. So you can choose actually to edit the page layout. So maybe you want a column, maybe you want 2 columns. It's kind of whatever fits your needs and your content. So I'm going to go with the 2 content areas. And then I am going to come over here, and you can add pages with this handy dandy little page. I'm going to name it TE 407, because that's what I did my PowerPoint presentation in. So, and I'm going to save that. This new page, that's just an example. I'm just going to get that out of there so we can look at it. Okay. And then you're going to go over here and you're going to add component. This is where you can add and link your artifacts you guys have uploaded. You can also add like a text area. You can add information from your profile. You can do a reflection, learning objective, or all of the above. So for me, I'm going to go into artifact, and then I'm going to select the Wolf Management PowerPoint. And then there's this nifty little view presentation right here. You can click that and you can actually preview it as you're editing it to see if you like how it's laying it out. So then it's going to pop up. You can edit the name of your banner. You can edit your tabs. Now this is linked to whatever content you have. So you can have as many tabs over here as you want and then link it to whatever content you want. So essentially it'll look kind of like a website and it'll have kind of a menu bar and then it'll bring up the content. So once you have that, you can, like I said, you can associate the learning objectives, make comments, and then, like I said, you can change actually the layout. They have different like themes and things. So I think that's all I have, unless there's anything you want to add to kind of the components of this. Once you play around with it, it's definitely a lot easier to navigate, and it's oddly really familiar if you're used to social media websites and other MSU websites. It grows on you. So.
Treat this like you would Facebook, as far as, you know, you put work into it, personalizing it yourself, but it is a professional version of Facebook. So you want it to be the best of you. Okay, so you filter out all the things that are unnecessary, and this gets the best things that you have available to showcase off to people. So make it about yourself, but make it the best part of yourself.
Anybody else have any questions or comments or concerns? So that's ePortfolio. You guys are more than welcome to contact any of us if you have any questions, need some help. Yeah.
Otherwise, thank you guys for listening and watching, and we wish you good luck in making your portfolio.
Go,